Welcome back to Wardrobes and Writing. I'm Dr. Jennifer Jones, expert writing coach. As I promised last week, I'm back today to talk about revising your messy draft. Congratulations, you got all of the words out. You have made a beautiful, glorious mess. Job done. Now it's time to revise it before you send it to your beta readers. Your beta readers are the people who read your book and make sure that you've done what you set out to do, basically. We'll talk about them next week. But for revising your draft, as I said last week, this step only takes about a total of 12 hours. It is about sort of sorting out the mess you made whenever you wrote your messy draft, so that your book will make sense to somebody who's not in your head. Because your book won't do any good if it only makes sense to you. I compare the whole writing process to clearing out your wardrobe, hence the name of my channel. I know that not all of us like clearing out wardrobes. I don't like clearing out wardrobes, but that analogy makes the writing process feel a lot more concrete and manageable. Because otherwise it's all this weird stuff that just happens in your head and somehow makes it onto the page. And how do you explain that? So in the wardrobe analogy, the first step of clearing out your wardrobe is to chuck all of your clothes out of the wardrobe and onto the bed. That's what you did in the messy draft. Your next step is to sort all of that stuff that you pulled out into 3 piles, basically. What you want to keep, what you want to get rid of, and what you need to fix. So for your wardrobe, that would be, you need to sew buttons back on this shirt. You need to donate that jacket to the charity shop. And you really like that jumper, so you're going to keep it just as it is. With your words, it works exactly the same way, except instead of collecting a box of stuff to take to the charity shop, you are cutting chunks that don't really fit out and putting them in a separate document. Don't delete anything. First, it is emotionally hard to get rid of something you created, and that's what deleting it is. Second, writers are allowed to change their minds. So you might think, I don't like this paragraph, I'm not going to keep it, cut it, paste it into your cut and paste file, and then feel differently the next day. Because you didn't delete it, you can come back, move it back. Or you might find that you went off on a 3-page tangent, which would make a great blog post, but it doesn't belong in your book. You cut it out of the book, you paste it somewhere else, and you can use it for something else. Whereas if you just deleted the whole thing and thought, I'll remember it, I'll be able to write it again later, you'll end up wasting hours, if not days, trying to remember what you wrote before. So don't delete it, just cut it out and paste it somewhere else. And that's what the first level of revision is. That's the big picture. You're just sorting the stuff into the different piles of stuff. So the stuff you're pretty happy with, the stuff you want to get rid of, and the stuff you need to fix. The second revision step is the detailed polish. This is when you fix the things that need to be fixed and you put it all back together, make it all nice and tidy, and make sure that it's as clean as you can make it. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is not the time to go and read 10 grammar books trying to become an expert editor. This is just the time to clean it up so that it will make sense to your beta readers. It's not their job to edit it either. That's why you're sending it to an editor after your beta readers. It's your job at this stage just to make it as clean as you can make it. It is good if you've got some punctuation in there. It does help with making the words make sense on the page. But you don't need to get hung up on, do I need this comma there, or should it be a semicolon, and those kinds of questions. You're going to let the expert handle that later. So that's what your 2 revision steps are. Your big picture, you're just sorting the stuff into the 3 piles of keep it, fix it, or get rid of it. And then the detailed polish, where you make it as nice and neat as you can, and you put it together in a way that's going to make sense. And that's all there is to it. Then your rough draft is done. And for most of the rest of this process, you're going to have help from other people. So you are most of the way through the process of getting your book done when you finish your revisions. So well done. Do take some time to celebrate that. And come back next week to talk about step 6, which is sending your book to your beta readers. That one doesn't require much work on your part, but it can be a bit scary. So we'll talk about dealing with that. Until then, happy writing.